Welcome back to How to Stick the Retirement Landing, the operating manual for men over 45. And also thank you for tuning in on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. My name is Joel Davis, and in this episode entitled You 2.0 Worked Until It Didn't, The Silent Killer of Men, we're going to bring to light what that silent killer of men is, and it's one that men don't talk about, and for good reason. It's called loneliness. Why do I say that loneliness is literally killing men 45 and older? Well, because loneliness is directly linked to increased risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, depression, and premature death. What the research shows is that loneliness among adults 45 plus is very widespread, but it's specifically for men. Men's social circles shrink dramatically in midlife. Many men have no close friends they regularly confide in. They rely almost exclusively on their spouse or their work for connection. The root cause to all of this appears to be this: men are not taught how to build, maintain, or prioritize male friendships, male relationships essentially, once work, marriage, and responsibility take over. From boyhood on, most men are conditioned to prove value through performance, suppress vulnerability or any signs of weakness, handle problems alone, and tie their identity to utility, things they can add value in. Think of tasks, work, money, chores, but not connection. Think about that last point again. Tying identity to utility when utility is the job is a huge mistake because it ties your internal operating system, essentially your identity, your self-worth, your internal beliefs and internal dialogue, to an external source, one that you can't control. Friendships become accidental, not intentional. And once the structure, work, that accidentally created those friendships disappear, so do the relationships. Everything flows from this. Strong, silent, and still isolated. You did everything right, so why does midlife feel empty? Believe it or not, I had this discussion quite a bit with my friends and colleagues. I would say to them, congratulations on managing your career successfully, but why do you feel like you are not winning? Why do you feel like you are missing something? Like there's a hole in your soul where happiness and fulfillment should be? Well, in my discussion with these men, there are many reasons that could be driving this, but there are 5 that are very common. 1, work became the primary and often only social container. For decades, men outsourced connection to the office, the job site, the team, or the mission. And then when work changes, downsizes, goes remote, or ends, their identity collapses. Their social network disappears, and there's nothing to replace it. So what I found in my life and life coaching is that men didn't lose friends, they just never built them outside of work. And even worse, they mistakenly conflated situationships they had at work with real friendships. Believe me, I know because I did that in my career as well. You quickly find out who is a real friend when you leave the company and are no longer in that other person's powertrain for their career. 2, marriage replaced brotherhood. Many men subconsciously treat marriage as, well, all my emotional needs are handled now. And over time, the wife becomes the sole confidant, male friends atrophy, and social planning gets delegated or disappears. Now, what happens when the marriage struggles, or there's a divorce, or there's a health challenge with one of the spouses, and basically stressors come down on that person's life, the man discovers he has no bench. What's worse is it's easy for men to get lazy. Why reach out to others when no one reaches out to you? Well, here's the answer. Because they're in the same position as you, but they don't know what you do now. Now that you know it, go do something about it. Be the bigger person and engage like your life depends on it, because it just might. 3, male friendship is built around doing, not being. Men typically have bonded, shoulder to shoulder around sports, projects, work, shared struggles, those kinds of things. Then as aging happens, they are struggling with physical capacity and energy. They may not be able to participate in many of those structured activities. And at the end of the day, what men realize is they don't know how to transition friendships into conversation, reflection, or just being emotionally present. So the result is, and I've heard a lot of my friends say this, is like, hey, we used to hang out, but now we just don't. There's no conflict. There's no fallout. There's just erosion. Number 4, emotional stoicism and shame about needing others. Most men over 45 were taught, don't complain, don't burden others, don't ask for help, and don't admit to being lonely. But loneliness creeps into their lives nonetheless and becomes silent, internalized, and maybe reframed by the man as, well, I'm just busy, or I'm fine, or I'm just tired. But by the time it's really, truly, deeply acknowledged, it's chronic. And that lie that they've been telling themselves is slowly killing them. Stagnation begins, growth stalls. Men begin to settle for a life that is not fulfilling or purpose-driven. 5. Loss of shared institutions that once forced or forged the connection. Previous generation had churches, fraternal organizations, unions, civic groups, and even just neighborhoods that stayed put, they didn't move. But modern men have highly individual lives, digital substitutes, lots of apps, social media apps specifically, transactional interactions, and a lot of entertainment and escapism instead of engagement. Without forced proximity and shared purpose, men drift into isolation by default. Notice the word forced. Work naturally forced these relationships to happen. Think of internal company events, industry events, customer meetings, Zoom calls, Slack, emails. All those things drove some level of connection. And work was that shared purpose instead of those other institutions. So guess what happens when there is no forcing function and no shared purpose? Yep, you got it in one. Isolation, loneliness, anxiety, depression, and feeling lost. So let's summarize what's really going on here. Loneliness in men is not primarily emotional, it's structural and identity-based. Men didn't fail at friendship, they just followed a system that prioritized professional production, for example, make money, over personal development, or faith, or family. This same system rewarded independence over interdependence, and that same system never taught them how to build connections throughout their life outside of work. And so when the system ends work, the man is left unsupported. And loneliness isn't solved by being more social, get yet even more social media apps, and have more surface-level interactions with acquaintances. No, it's not solved by that at all. Instead, it's solved by something much deeper. It's solved by purpose-driven brotherhood, shared missions and passions, structure around a daily operating system, and lastly, fitness to provide energy, vitality, and curiosity. If this is resonating with you, please download this free operating manual for men over 45. Please subscribe, check out the other videos and podcasts, and ask me anything in the community section, or you can send me an email, joeldavisu3.0@gmail.com. I will see you in the next episode. Midlife requires an identity upgrade.